Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Here we are back with the Qitari in the Great Wood, and we're about to go on to the next quest to hopefully start to complete the stela. And the quest is called What Ails the Forest? The Great Serpent of Ronka would enlighten you as to the greatest mysteries of the universe. Or so you believe. Squee? The Great Serpent lets out a high-pitched squeal. It appears to be feeling anxious about something. Speak with Chakul Katul and see how the excavation effort fares. Oh, that can't be good. Welcome back! The Stopple's feeling more comfortable than ever thanks to all those helpful supplies you and your friends from Slitherbow brought to us. Father and I have also been diving into the depths below some 20 times now, and you won't believe all we found. Indeed, my boy, perhaps the most important discovery of all was that the relics and records confirming the interpretation of history engraved on the newly restored third stela. Our ancestors enjoyed amiable relations with these curious catfish people, and indeed share our food supply with them, allowing them to survive the age of great famine. To their misfortune, however, they were a stubborn folk. When they refused to worship the deities of Ronka in favor of their old gods, they were driven from the land. Whether they still live on in some far-off land, none can say. Poor catfish people. If we ever meet someday, I promise I'll be your friend. At any rate, we have explored all there is to explore in the third stratum, meaning that there is time we ventured further below. Unfortunately, we find ourselves in a bit of a bind. My most trusted scout, Tawal Manul, has yet to make a full recovery from her ailment. On the contrary, others here in the Stopple have been suffering from similarly unpleasant symptoms, even those who did not accompany Tawal on her expedition below. I must say I find myself quite at a loss. Might you be so kind as to accompany me as I look into the matter, Claire? Oh no, this can't be good. What's going on? Tawal was on the verge of making a full recovery when her condition took a sudden turn for the worst, and it pains me to say that she is not the only one so afflicted. The symptoms were mild at first, but in no time their fever flares up, the pain and dizziness so severe they cannot even rise to their feet. The medicine that Master Quinford brought from Fanow has served to ease their discomfort somewhat, but with more of us becoming stricken by the day and their conditions ever worsening, I fear it will not be long until we exhaust our supply. I am loath to impose upon your generosity once more, but might you be so willing as to go back and procure another batch from our friends? Surely they will take pity on our plight. Forgive me for not being able to travel with you, Claire. I must stay here and help Father tend to the sick. Oh, he's so sweet. He really is. Curse this fever. I must return to the dig. I hope Tawal feels better soon. Going digging without her just isn't the same. That's okay. Let's go and pick up more medicine. Though sadly, I don't think it's because of that cold river that's causing her to be sick. I mean, it said before that she was on her way to a full recovery, and then she just got sick again. So this has to be something else. Of late, I've had my hands full providing supplies to the stewards. While it saddens me to delay my journey yet again, I am happy to lend my aid where it is needed. Did young Chakul not accompany you this time? What a shame. I was hoping to hear about his latest discoveries. This is most distressing news. Rest assured we will not stand idly by as our Qitari friends suffer. If our remedies may serve them well, I am happy to provide you with as much as you need. That said, tell the truth, a similar malady to the one of which you speak has come to Fanow as well. While only a few have taken ill thus far, I must say this does not bode well. Now that you mention it, a traveling merchant from Slitherbow who sojourned here just days ago had a similar tale to tell. Whatever this affliction is, I fear it seems to be spreading. Qitari, Viis, and Humes alike fall stricken by a mysterious plague that spreads in the blink of an eye. In all the years I have lived, never have I heard of such a thing. I hope I am mistaken, but my instincts tell me this is no common chill. I fear that the medicine I gave you will offer little more than a momentary respite from the pain. Do not say such things, Master Lanai. This lack of confidence ill befits you. Though it pains me, I suppose there is little we can do but ease the suffering as best we can until we can determine what has caused this. Pray deliver the medicine to young Chakul in the ailing Qitari. Should our efforts to find a cure bear fruit, we shall send word at once. That's really not good. Okay, let's head back to the Stopple and let them know the, I guess the really bad news. Squee! The serpent lets out a mournful cry. It appears to be deeply concerned for the well-being of the stricken Qitari. Oh, I didn't notice it, but there are others. Oh no, he's sick too! Claire, did you bring the medicine from Fanow? Satchel holding a small amount of a herbal remedy traditionally favored by the Viis. Oh, thank you. Your benevolence knows no bounds. But just look. Whatever am I to do? Not long after you left us, Father suffered a terrible coughing fit. He has not gone out of bed since, and one by one the others have joined him. Father believes that there is a chance that we brought some ancient pox back with us from the ruins beneath the Stopple, or that we ourselves have spread this disease in traveling to these parts from our former home. But as for the truth, we cannot. My friends, are you all here? I bring most grievous tidings from Slitherbow. It's Valen. He has taken ill with the plague. He exercised the utmost caution when tending to poor Tawal, but to no avail, for the disease has stricken him too, and with great vengeance. Master Valen too? Indeed. I fear that it is none other than he who, albeit unwittingly, carried the pox back to Slitherbow. Is it true that the Viis of Fanow too suffer from this frightful affliction? A great plague threatening to claim the lives of all who call the Great Wood home. I shudder at the thought. We have no choice. From today, all Qitari who still stand will devote every waking moment to investigating this disease. Yes, in Father's name, I hereby suspend the extrication effort and... Squee, squee, squee! The Great Serpent! It speaks! By gods ancient and true! Put away not your shovels and spades, young Catal. The excavation must go on, for verily, so sake the great protector of Ronka. Aye, many a prayer have I offered to the Great Serpent on behalf of the ailing, and today my prayers have been answered. Through me, Dawalta's own blood, the divine protector shall lead you to a cure of this frightful plague. Trust in it, in me, and the suffering of our peoples will soon come to an end. Squee! Master Quinfort, O Great Serpent of Ronka, of course you speak true. If Father is right, and we Qitari are responsible for the spread of this disease, then the answers we seek might yet be found along the undiscovered stela. After all, if this is indeed some ancient pox, it stands to reason that our forefathers left behind some record of it. A record that may very well shed light upon its cause and its cure. With poor father bedridden, it falls to me to carry on the dig. I will find the stela and save our people, even if I must do it alone.
Your bravery is most admirable, young Chakul. And yet, even with the Divine Protector watching over you, are the tunnels not too dangerous for a child?
I am no child, Master Quinford. I have lived 3 whole years, and in just these recent days have accompanied Father into the depths time and again. None is better prepared to search for the stela than me.
Chakul can do this.
Oh, thank you, Claire. A vote of defense from you means the world to me. Mark my words, I will get to the bottom of this.
Such courageous words, spoken from one so young. Chakul Katul, you truly are a shining example for all your people. Worry not for your dear father. Claire and I will see that he wants for nothing while you are exploring down below. Go in safety and know that we pray for your success.
Squee-ee! The serpent lets out a passionate cry and bounces about confidently. It appears moved by the young Qitari lad's courageous decision to venture deeper into the caves on his own.
Young Chakul continues to impress, does he not? I would be lying to say I am entirely unconcerned, but I have faith that he will be safe under the Great Serpent's watchful eye. These guys are great, aren't they? They really are.
It is not simply for the future of my fellow Qitari that I must find the next stela. It is for Father, for Valen, for the Viis who suffer in Fanow, for all those who call Ratika home. I must succeed. Let the extrication begin.
Chakul Katul has safely returned from his exploration of the tunnels. So, what did he find? You return, my young friend. Thanks be to the Great Serpent. What's this? Do my eyes deceive me? You return alone.
Indeed. All of our previous extrications, an avatar of the Great Serpent, clad in a suit of armor, arrived to welcome Father and I to the stela's resting place. This time there was none to be found.
Inconceivable! The Great Serpent forsaking a descendant of Ronka at their time of need?
Intubability. The Divine Protector moves in mysterious ways. But worry not, my friends, for I was able to locate the 4th stela myself, and, thanks be to the Divine Protector, there was barely a scratch or scrape upon it. Yes, using the tools and techniques you have supplied to us, I do believe we will be able to raise it to the serpents in pristine condition.
Remarkable! Truly you are a paragon of Ronkan industrialness and ingenuity. Now do tell, did the stone provide any new insights that might help us fend off the plague?
Oh, Master Quinfort, you will see for yourself once we raise it to the surface. But let me tell you what I saw with my own eyes. Pictured providently in the center was none other than the Great Serpent itself. Atop its head sat a gloriously large and fluffy green mass. Before the serpent, a man in Ronkan garb raised his hands in sheer jubilation.
Glorious! This is incontrovertible proof that the Divine Protector guided our ancestors to enlightenment just as it guides us today.
Sadly, Father is in no condition to share with us his thoughts on the carvings, but no matter. With the stela in impeccate condition, I am confident that my penetration is the correct one. Yes, there can be no doubting it. With a mighty squee, the Great Serpent did bestow upon the Ronkin people a giant tuft of grass-green fluff, which cured them of a dreadful pox. No doubt it is to guide us to this very knowledge, the cure that would save our people, that the Great Serpent appeared before me.
Glory be to the squee! I could present another theory, but nah, this one's funnier. Glory be to the squee! Truly, the Great Serpent works in mysterious ways, but there can be no doubting that what has happened here today was none other than a divine miracle. If I might be so bold as to expand upon your insight, young Chakul, I believe I can identify precisely that miraculous object which the serpent did carry on his blessed plate. Verily, this can be none other than the greatest blessing of Ronka, Ronkin moss, which grows so verdant and lush in our forest home. If I recall from my studies, Ronkin moss can be harvested from numerous sources, but in particular certain species of tree found in the husk upon which it grows in great abundance.
Claire, ally of Ronka, you have my word that this is the last time I will impose upon you. Might you be so kind as to go forth in search of the moss that will save my people?
Splendid! And I, young Chakul, will make for Fanow. The Viis will doubtless have insight to share on how to brew the moss into a proper elixir.
I am deeply obliged to you, my friends. I will tend to Father and pray that his condition has not worsened in the meantime. Until we meet again. The Great Serpent has spoken. The moss will heal Father and our friends once and for all. I am sure of it.
Well, you heard him. Well, I guess we really can't say that Quinford is lying or he's dreaming or delusional or anything. I guess if you really want to stick to the fact that he's just nuts, I guess you could. But I really don't think that that's the case. So either he understands what the Great Serpent is saying, I guess after all this time of listening to the Great Serpent in his dreams, he learned how to communicate with it. Or he's just taken one great big stab in the dark and it just happens to be the right answer. I mean, he definitely seems to believe it. So he's definitely not lying, at least not in his mind. So either way, Quinford, you're great. You're one of my favorite characters so far. I do hope we get to see you again. Okay, so we gotta grab a piece of the boggy bark. So it's gotta be around here. Is it underwater? No, it doesn't look like it's underwater. Here it is. The slab of bark harvested from an ancient swampland tree is covered thick in verdant moss. Okay. Guess we got all the pieces that we need. Whoa. Did not mean to do that. And we'll just teleport straight back to the Viis. I don't know. I think we might need like another etherite crystal around here somewhere. So I can't wait to see what this next stela is going to look like. And convenient, indeed, that this piece of stela is completely untouched, whereas the others were destroyed. Well, maybe not destroyed, but just worn away.
Did you find the moss, friend? Oh, please say that you did.
Yes, we did. You've got some pieces right here. So, yes, the ancient swampland trees covered thick in the moss. Okay.
Splendid! Splendiferous! Why, it looks just as it did on the stela! We must prepare the medicine at once!
Following the method illustrated by the carving on the fourth stela, the stewards brewed an elixir from the ronken moss and distributed it to their ailing friends. Before long, the symptoms eased, and a brighter mood returned to the stable. No longer lacking for manpower, Qitari and his friends built a workshop where the medicine could be produced in large quantities to be distributed across the Great Wood. Alright! Look at that!
Ahem. Reports have it that our friends in Slitherbow and Fanow are well on their way to making a complete recovery. All of Ratika truly is in your debt, Claire. I have no words to express my gratitude. You have my gratitude as well, Claire, and we must not forget the Great Serpent who guided us to the cure. Speaking of which, where did it go? It is not our place to question the workings of the divine, my boy. No doubt it felt its role here was done, and returned to a place where only the gods know. Does that mean I'll never see it again? Did I hear what I think I heard? The Great Serpent returns to us! Or perhaps is watching over us from behind the stela all along? Doubtless so, Qitari. Indeed, the Great Serpent truly does work in mysterious ways.
And so it was that the Qitari reclaimed the history and knowledge of their forefathers, and so doing played their roles in returning peace to the Great Wood, just as foreseen by a certain prognostic priest. All was according to the Great Serpent's plan. Or was it? Oh, that's funny. Oh, that really is too funny. Well, that was a nice way to end the story. Oh, well, there's supposed to be at least one more.
Father and Tawala are back on their feet again. Oh, how I worried for them. Ah, Claire, I cannot thank you enough for all you have done on behalf of my boy. No, on behalf of all the stewards. You'll be pleased to know that we have succeeded in producing the mossy brew in large quantities. Any fear of a plague sweeping through the Great Wood are well behind us. Did you ever find out what caused the disease, Father? It's difficult to say for certain, but I do have a theory. Plants, blossoms, and trees abound in the Great Wood, each possess their own seeds and spores, some of which can be quite poisonous. Lesser poisons exist as well. In that case, one might build up an immunity if one lives for long enough in their presence. At the same time, different areas of the wood are home to different flora, each bearing their own poisons. And so, living for 100 years far away from this place, you say we have a different immunity than our friends in Slitherbow and Fanow? Precisely, my boy. More precisely, we carry an element of the poison within us, and it is this which protects us from their harmful effects. The downside of this, of course, is quite clear. When these poisons are carried to a new place where others are not accustomed to them, the selfsame thing that protects us from their effects can have harmful effects on others, just as the poisons of our own bodies are unaccustomed to can harm us. So, the sickness, it was all our fault for coming here? Perhaps, and perhaps not. We are not the only ones who traveled here when the path through the Ravel was opened. We Qitari, the creatures of the forest, we saw on our way, doubtless the spread of the pox was inevitable. And besides, in coming here, we have rediscovered a powerful elixir fashioned by our forefathers, one that we might use to prevent any further outbreaks of disease among those who call the Great Wood home. Looking back, I suspect that matters such as these were a source of great consideration in the days of the Empire, when peoples moved about the Great Woods often and in droves. No doubt this is why it was the Ronkins who discovered the cure, with the guidance of their divine protector, of course. The same divine protectors who remembers well the events of those days, and who led us back to the remedy he had shared for our forefathers so many years ago. The fourth stela has been reclaimed, and with it another piece of our heritage. And yet, the Qitari did not do this alone. You, ally of Ronka, your friends Quinfort and Valen, our loyal allies among the Viis, all played a part in making this day happen. Given our people's mutual histories, it is perhaps fitting, wouldn't you say, Chakul? Indubitably! At long last, I understand how people must have felt in the days of Ronka, when our peoples cooperated and lived together in great civilization. The wisdom of our forefathers has saved us today, but we must not rest easy. We must continue to learn and record our experiences, that our own wisdom might serve those who follow in our footsteps. There is still much that I would study as well. Pray come back to visit us, my friends. I would be happy to share with you all the wonderful things I am sure to learn. After all, while the serpent with the hat has gone off somewhere, the helmeted one remains with us. Surely this is a sign that there is still much to explore in the tunnels below. After all, why would it remain with us if there were not additional pathways and passages through which it seeks to guide us? Oh, I can hardly wait to see what may yet be unearthed.
Yay! We have achieved sworn reputation! Yet more embodiments of the Great Serpent have taken up residence in Hopple Stomple. Really? So you mean we actually have a bunch of these like little serpents around here now? Okay, so we still have one more quest to kind of wrap up the whole story.
We cannot very well rid the forest of its toxins, so we must do all we can to protect all who dwell here from sickness and disease. I cannot help but feel that the very same serpent who was always by my side now watches over us from atop the stela.
That's a nice thought. Alright, let's see what we got. Ooh, a Ronkin flute! Oh, I forgot! This is where we get our mount! This whistle emits a sublime tone that summons forth the great vessel of Ronka, pre-filled with divinity for your worshipping convenience. Okay, we can now summon the great vessel of Ronka! Let's see where it is... There! This ancient Ronkin urn was discovered empty, save for a peculiar flute, the sound of which caused the vessel to suddenly become thus occupied. Where did it come from? The curious may be compelled to inquire, but the wise know better than to question the divine. And as Quinfort says, the Great Serpent has spoken! Oh, look at that! That's probably a big serpent too, but he's cute. Alright everyone, I guess that's gonna be it for right now. We have only one quest left waiting for us in the wings. So until next time everyone, take care and have a great rest of your day. Bye!